Okay, one experience that I'll never forget ever in my life for as long as I will live is when I got stung by hornets with my little brother, Kyle. So, I was 10 years old, and I was about in 5th grade, I think, and my little brother Kyle was 7, and my stepfather Jeff was driving us down to Oklahoma, excuse me, and there he would do his usual mow of the land. That's what we call it, the land, because that's all we ever do in Oklahoma, is go to this piece of land where if our gate boys ran out and we didn't have anything else to do, we would just roll around in the grass or, stick our feet in some piece of mud there just to do something there because there's nothing else to do. So our stepfather was tired of us being bored there. So he's like, hey, Michael, Kyle, why don't you go out into the middle of the forest and, go pick out a spot for your new tree house. Well, our smiles went out and we were all excited because we knew our stepfather was a carpenter and he would build this thing and we were just going to find the best spot for this. And we were so excited. We were like, what time we're going to land? We got to build that tree house. And he's like, well, I got to mow. You take your time. So we go out in the forest. It's ruggedy. There's mosquitoes. It's the middle of the summer. It's nasty outside. And we go out there, and every time we'd find a spot, we just couldn't deal with it because it wasn't big enough. We wanted a treehouse mansion, basically, because we knew that he would build this big treehouse. So every time we would pick a spot, we would kick the dirt or an ant pile to, mark a potential mansion treehouse checkpoint.
Yeah.
So we just kept on going through the forest, kept kicking those ant piles, and we were pretty far out, and it was getting kind of dark, and Jeff was calling to us, Michael, Kyle, come on, I'm done mowing finally, and, we found this large, spaced out piece of land. This was just great because if you looked up, you would see these trees, and they were hanging really tall, strong branches. So we had our area for our mega tree mansion, and we had the strength to, found it all. And so we wanted to make this really big point to get this piece of land, kick the ground really hard, and then we hear buzzing. And we were like, is there, a beehive anywhere? Because we couldn't see any. And we were like looking down, there's like no ants crawling out like the other ant piles. And Kyle and I started freaking out. We're like, what is that? So we started walking. And it starts coming out. These hornets shoot out of the ground and whiz around us. And we're just, and we run out, and you see Kyle and us, running out and opening our shirts, and these things are going everywhere. One went in my, stomach area, one in Kyle's neck area, and Jeff was like, well, get out of the forest! And we run to the car, and I have this big stinging welt, and we're like, ah! And Jeff looked back at us. He's like, well, I guess that's not a spot for your treehouse. And never will I let my kids, who I teach at the elementary school, to ever kick ant piles, because I'm afraid just one day it's going to be this tiny hole in the middle of the ground. I'm going to hear buzzing. Okay.
Yay.